And we are live, guys. Hi, and welcome to this hangout. The gang is all back together for I don't know, not for the first time, but it's very rare to do this. So it's awesome. We're going to talk about Justice League and then Iron Fist. So, what did you thought about Justice League trailer, guys?
I'll go first. I saw the Justice League trailer yesterday. Awesome, off the chain. Batman, Flash, Cyborg, everybody was off the chain. It's too bad it's coming out not until November because they should release it during the summer. I think it would give Guardians of the Galaxy 2 some competition.
Oh yeah, but it's going to diminish the box office for Justice League or the opposite. I mean, or Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's not really used to do that. It's better that they're, separate. Oh, we already have comments here from Devon and Tom. So hi, Tom. Okay, guys. Yeah, just the trailer was awesome. I'm still trying to process it in a way, but it was totally awesome. I watched Angry Joe's review on it, and he was very disappointed that we didn't see Superman, but we shouldn't see Superman. That's going to spoil everything. So I'm glad that we didn't see Superman, actually. What do you think?
I love the trailer. I loved it. And like I said, I'm not one of those people that say, "Oh, you got to say." Everybody knows Superman's in the movie. As long as you don't show him being resurrected, I could care less if he's in the trailer or not. As long as you don't show him getting resurrected, how he gets resurrected, how he comes back, they could show him for a quick minute. It wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah, well, I totally prefer, if they keep him like a secret because he probably going to appear at the end of the movie doing something super awesome, like let's say the army of the parademons are very head-to-head with the army of the Amazons and so on, and they really need help, and all of a sudden Superman shows up and burns everybody. So I imagine something like that is going to happen.
Well, I hope he doesn't show up at the very end. I hope he shows up before the last act, just so he has some screen time in the movie. I don't want him to be just at the end like a cameo.
Yeah, I also don't. I prefer him to be throughout the movie, but probably going to be the last 30 minutes if we're lucky.
What I think is going to happen, well, this is, in my opinion, what I think is going to happen is probably, I'm trying to remember, Steppenwolf is probably going to, either Steppenwolf is going to be the one to revive him, or something's going to happen when he gets revived. It's going to be Steppenwolf that revives him, and then maybe he has to turn, then maybe, like I said, Lois is the key. Remember the thing from that? Saying Lois is the key?
Yeah, the Marcel.
No. Remember when the Flash came back and Bruce's vision?
Oh, yeah.
Told him you were right. Lois is the key, and maybe Lois is the key to turn Superman back. Once they revive him, and then he's like, being controlled by Steppenwolf, and then Lois Lane is the one that, turns him back. Turns him back good.
Yeah,
I can see that happening.
But I don't see now. I question why would Steppenwolf want to revive him though?
Exactly, because he can make him part of his army. Remember?
Get out of here!
Remember, there's been precedents. Remember I think it was in the. I think it's been in the comics and on the animated show. Remember, Darkseid was controlling Superman, and he had him actually working for him.
Yeah, and one of them he had Darkseid had Superman doing it, and then the other one he had a Supergirl.
Yeah, exactly. So there's precedents for that happening. So I could see that happen. Maybe Superman comes back, he revives Superman, and then uses Superman to try to defeat the Justice League. But then Lois Lane is the one that comes and stops him from, and then turns him back, which I can see.
That'd be amazing.
And I think that's probably one of the reasons why they showed Lois Lane in this trailer, just to let you know she's going to be in this movie.
Right. She's representing him. Yeah,
exactly. So just so you know that he's going to be in the movie. That's I think why they just showed her that brief clip of her just looking up.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And the other plus about them not showing Superman is that they gave a lot of screen time. I mean, it's a pretty long trailer, and they got a lot of screen time to the other supporting characters like Cyborg and Flash.
Yeah, everybody got everybody got a lot of screen time, which is good in that trailer. I like that.
No, actually, I think they're all main characters. I can't think of them as supporting characters because they're all Justice League.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have to say hi to Tom again, who says, I disagree with Angry Joe most of the time. And Gone Ho Media, Sean says, I hope Superman wears that black suit from the promo photos. Yeah, he's going to wear that for sure.
Yeah,
I'm kind of thinking he's going to revive himself for some reason, because the fact that we saw the dirt rising up from his coffin at the end, of BVS, I think that that's an indication that he is recovering on its own. At least my theory, but yeah.
Well, in the BVS, they showed him revive after the nuclear blast in space. He regenerated, but that doesn't mean that they can't do mind control over him. Darkseid has the power and ability to do mind control, so it would be interesting if they go that route to have him be an avatar for Darkseid on the planet. Seeing as though their abilities are so similar, I can see where Paul Trey Passer is saying that. I can see both. That he revives himself but gets taken over by Darkseid.
And hi to Danny from Blu-ray Dan. Proud to him.
Hello. So
okay.
there's a bunch of other characters. I mean, the graphics on Flash is absolutely amazing, especially compared to the TV show.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually part of the Speed Force.
Yeah.
He's part of the Speed Force. What do you mean? That blue streak that was behind him?
It looks like he's on another level.
Do you think that they're gonna when they deal with the blue streak of Flash, are they gonna actually be as detailed with the lighting streak that comes behind them as they were on the TV show? Because the light behind them is specific to the certain flashes. Like they said that what's his name? The Reverse Flash is supposed to be in here somewhere, not in Justice League, but in the Flash series. But the Reverse Flash has a different streak because of his Speed Force connection than the regular Flash. So, is it going to be the same as a TV show? I mean, how?
Well, I think they'll have slight differences, but I also think, like you said, they show that quick shot of Barry at the prison with his father, so the Reverse Flash is in that universe because he falls in prison, obviously, for the murder of his mother. So. And I think Iris Rush is supposed to be in this movie as well. Iris Rush is supposed to be in this movie as well. So
already in Justice League?
Yeah, she's supposed to be in it too. She's supposed to have like a cameo in it as well.
Oh gosh, so they're doing Flashpoint?
Well, no, not Flashpoint. They're just establishing that that his father is behind, is locked up for the murder of his mother, obviously, that's what his drive in this whole universe is, to try to free his father, try to, his father's innocence.
Wow.
Oh boy, we have to do a separate actually hangout for the Flash TV show because I have so much to say about how Barry is a dumbass.
Oh yes.
How Barry's a what?
The end of it. He's a dumbass.
Oh.
Complete dumbass.
Oh, yes.
Well, they're going in circles on the TV show, but I can't imagine that the type of Barry that they picked on the movie just doesn't seem to match the same type of Barry personality-wise that's in the TV show. So they got to go a slight bit different direction on this guy. I can't see it. He just doesn't seem to have the same charisma. He's a little nerdy, a little dorky. He's just weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's that kind of an emo type.
Who's weird? Yeah, the Flash from the movie or the show?
The movie.
The movie.
He's a little dorkier, weirder. Yeah.
Yeah, because they say he designs his when Batman meets him, he designed his own costume himself, like the costume that he has, because he's supposed to have two suits. Like when Batman first meets him, he has a suit that he designed himself, and then Batman's going to give him an upgrade.
Okay, now in the trailer one, the suit that was in the cabinet, that had like all of those cables and stuff that held it together. Is that the same suit that he had in this Second trailer?
No, I think part of the trailer he has one suit on, then part of the trailer he has a different suit, because there's a shot where they show all of them individual, like Cyborg, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman all on the line.
Yeah.
And I think that's when he has the different suit on, because I think that's towards the end battle, the big battle at the end. And you can tell the costume is different. The costume he has on is different. You see like a side profile of him, and you can see the costume is different than the one he had earlier.
All right, man. I got a question for y'all, man. How do you feel about Ben Affleck as the Batman?
Oh, I love
awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah, awesome.
Perfect.
Just as good. Yeah, just as good as Christopher Nolan. Sorry, excuse me. Just as good as Christian Bale, but like I said, he's got a darker, edgier twist to him, and that's what I like. Like I said, because in the Dawn of Justice movie, he cursed, and he's just street. He's basically a street savvy. It's almost like he's real dark.
So his post, the way that he plays Batman. I mean, how he dances, how he fights, how he looks, how he speaks. Everything is totally Batman. Like how would have imagined him on the big screen. So for me, he's the one Batman that I was always, waiting for on the big screen, because he is like Batman for me.
He has the size. He has the size and everything. He's big enough, and he's intimidating enough. I tell you that the warehouse fight scene is one of the best.
What are you doing, Felga?
Yes. What the heck, Sammy? You're so distracting. Stop that.
We lost Trey Passer. I guess due to some technical difficulties.
Dude, Falagar, man.
That's not very superhero-y.
Yeah, man. Put a cape on or something. Hey,
yeah.
It's not an option.
Oh, no. Okay, stop that.
There we
go.
So here's the thing, to finish Trey Passer's point a little bit. Also, in my opinion, here's a scary thing. I read a thing where Ben Affleck says he doesn't want to do a Batman anymore, and that's kind of sad, I hope he comes back,
Oh, wow.
Man, I'm hearing so many conflicting reports about him, and even the guys doing Captain America, man. Everybody's saying this, but yet they keep showing up in the movies,
Well, the thing is, Chris Evans is contracted through Avengers 4, so his contract's up. A lot of people's contracts are up. So, and the thing is, as actors, they don't want to be typecasted and do this all the time. They want to, elevate, move up. They want to direct, produce. That's what Chris Evans wants to do. But getting back on topic with the Justice League, like I said, Ben Affleck is awesome as a Batman. I just hope, the reports of him, not wanting to do it anymore aren't true. Because if this thing blows up, you could do like at least 2 or 3 more Justice League movies, do a franchise.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It might be difficult work for them to do what they're doing, but I think there's too many talking heads in the critic world, man, who's just spinning things just to be spinning them, and, unless the guy says it himself, I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm really not inclined to believe it myself.
Exactly. Unless he says it himself, I'm not going to believe it.
Yeah. And also we have to address some of the comments here that we are getting. Actually never got so many comments on the live stream right now. So Blu-ray Dan says, I think the Flash should look good, but I can't stand those shoulder pads. Well, the whole costume is kind of in different parts, so yeah, I mean the shoulder pads are kind of standing out in a way because he looks skinnier in general. So I'm sure that we're going to get more cohesive costumes, so to speak. And Godzilla Gaming says, yeah, Wonder Woman was really cool, but honestly, her fighting skills are kind of like Xena's. So that's not bad, but I don't think that's anything to do with Xena. I mean, the way that she fights, it's more like very superhumanly swift kind of a fighting style. So I don't think that has anything to do with Xena, but even if it did, Xena's fighting is not bad. So I don't know what's the problem there. The House of Blood says, who would win in that match, Avengers or Justice League? And Tom says, Justice League in my opinion, and in my opinion, Justice League also. Yeah.
Who would win in the death match between the current MCU and the current DCEU? That's kind of unfair, man, because the DCEU is just getting itself together.
Well,
But
imagine just Justice League how it is in the comic books and Justice League how it is in
we
the
nah,
Avengers in general.
no, I'm gonna have to go with the movie world because the comic books is all over the place. DC, Marvel can't compete with DC when it comes to comics because Superman's a god, Batman became a god. I mean, they can do anything. But if you go with the movie verse, I kind of have to still go with DC. I mean, they haven't shown Thor or the Hulk to be as invulnerable as they have been in the past. So I have to say that DC's got it. I mean, even Wonder Woman, taking down Doomsday the way she did, even after his solar blast. I mean, those DCEU is very powerful. They're not at God status, but they're extremely powerful. So I'd have to
Yeah,
say DCEU's got it.
yeah, and the DC,
Well,
and the DC studios, like I said, it stepped up real quick to
Yeah.
Marvel. So
Yeah, and besides the Flash, they don't even have the Flash. They killed off Quicksilver quickly. So Flash is just insane. Just with his speed alone. And although they don't have anybody like the Scarlet Witch on the DCEU, so if they ever let that woman go and do what she can do, or even the Vision, if they let him do what he can do, that might change the scale of things. But for right now, the way they got it, they don't have the same amount of power, so I'd have to give it up to the DCEU. Although Batman hasn't lived up to Batman's hype either, though. Yet.
Batman is still a human, so that always is going to be a minus for him. I mean, for his durability, because like Sean here says, Hulk would wreck them all, and I don't think he's going to wreck Superman because Superman is, very durable to say the
Or
least.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, Superman is. I know that they're both super strong and super durable, but Superman is, really. If there's not kryptonite, I mean, what Hulk is going to do?
The Hulk
Batman.
got knocked out by a punch from Iron Man in the movie, so Superman got hit with a nuclear blast and regenerated. I don't think that the Hulk can take Superman the way they wrote the Hulk so far. I don't think he can take it. It's two different things.
Okay, so Hulk would eat Batman. Yeah, of course. Well, not eat him literally, but definitely going to make him fly for 100 kilometers.
Hey, but look, I would love to see the Chris Evans fight versus the Ben Affleck fight. I mean, Batman versus Cap fight, though. I mean, that Batman scene, like they said, is incredible in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And Chris Evans, I can see he would probably win because he's stronger, but I don't know, man. Batman gave it a lot. He gave it a lot, man, for that scene.
Oh yeah, he's always given a lot.
I was looking for the shoulder pads that the guy said that he didn't like in the trailer. I don't see a problem with the shoulder pads. I see a couple of times that they're up, but I don't see a problem with the shoulder pads. It looks pretty good. If anything, I gotta say I don't really like the face mask of Batman. That permanent scowl on his face, I'm not a fan of.
What do you mean permanent?
He's got a scowl. He's got a permanent angry look on his mask, especially when he approaches Aquaman and the Commissioner, and he has to look between the two of them. He's got this angry look on his mask that doesn't change. I thought that was like an issue that they had back in the day with who was George, whatever his name is, the other Batman that played him that had a permanent scowl on his face.
Oh, George Clooney.
I think it was Clooney. Yeah, one of them had just an angry look on the face all the time, and I'm not sure if I really care for that too much. That stuck out to me more than Flash's costume.
Maybe that's maybe that's Batman's intimidating factor now. The scowl on his mask. I mean,
Yeah, I thought
it was kind of cool. Yeah, because in the trailer you hear him say, Batman, I could dig it. He goes, maybe temporary. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Well, I think he looks badass. I mean, Batman always looked. That's a signature look for Batman's mask overall. So I don't know how you prefer, Devon, for Batman to look like.
Yeah, he's not going to smile, of course. There's nothing to smile about.
Oh, a straight face. A straight face is scarier to me than a scowl. You know,
I don't
because you
know.
can't tell what somebody's thinking when they have a straight face. You know, when they stare at you, you don't know
Well,
where they're
that's the
gonna go.
point.
Yeah,
If you ask me, that's the point with Batman because he has to be mysterious in a many ways actually. So you shouldn't be able to tell what he's thinking. That's the point.
All right, so in this trailer, who's the standout figure? Who do you people like? Who are you most interested in? Because everybody's gonna get a movie. Aquaman, Cyborg,
I think
Flash.
Aquaman for me because like in the beginning when Affleck tried to talk to him, Aquaman beat up on him. But after a while, once they start fighting together, he became a little cooler with him. You know, because I'm the scene in the trailer when he was on top of the man's car, he goes, "Yeah, man," and he's like, "Oh my goodness, okay, so they're cool. That's good."
He said Aquaman beat up on Batman.
No, remember in the beginning when Bruce Wayne was recruiting him, he's saying, "I'm looking for a guy that talks to fish." He goes, "Oh, so you talk to fish?" And Aquaman had him hidden up to the wall. So you know, in the beginning, you know, Aquaman I don't think took to him too well. But by the time during the Batman scenes, you know, they were cool, like you know, they were all straight passer again.
Yeah, he seems to be having connection problems of some sort.
Hey, Sammy, who'd you like
For what now?
for the in the trailer? Who stood out to you?
Let me look at the pictures again.
I gotta say,
oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I thought you were still looking good.
Okay, I was gonna say the Flash, and concerning Flash and Quicksilver, Flash is quicker. I believe Flash moves at the speed of light, whereas Quicksilver moves at the speed of sound. So,
Right.
yeah. But Flash is pretty much a god in a way. If you think about it, you know, with him, with his speed, pretty much get away with anything. The only one he may have a problem with would probably be Superman and possibly Wonder Woman. It depends how invulnerable Wonder Woman is, though. I'm not too sure if she's got the same invulnerability as Superman. I'm not too sure. Like if those two were to fight, I don't know what her invulnerability or stress level is. Like if she's bulletproof, what I don't get is why does she need the bracelets to block the bullets? Why not just let the bullets hit her? So that kind of tells me maybe she can't. You know what I mean? Every time when she blocks it, like, and not just in the Linda Carter days, but like even in that latest trailer, you saw her block it for her solo movie. You know what I'm talking about? When Chris Pine was getting robbed, whatever, in that latest trailer of Wonder Woman,
Right.
and she blocked it with her bracelet, and then she just continued to block it, you know, instead of let it just bounce off her. So I don't like I said, I don't know what her stress level is or her invulnerability level is.
That's a good question,
But,
man. Is she? Are they putting her up to be invulnerable, or is it, you know, part of the gauntlets that she wears? Or I mean, because they said she's not going to reach her full potential or something weird like that. She needs to reach her full potential. We don't want her to know, is what Hippolyta said. So is she actually bulletproof? I mean, maybe she's not.
Bulletproof. That's it. Yeah, I don't know if she's bulletproof like what Superman is.
Yeah,
So who
I don't
knows?
think she is, because everything comes through those gauntlets. Even when she does her, you know, energy blast and everything, she has to hit the gauntlets to the
together
shield.
or something, or the shield. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that when she hit the shield in the Justice League thing. I was wondering what that was. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's
So I think that they have to do that with the gauntlets because it's classic and it's something like a signature of Wonder Woman. So she could still be bulletproof overall, but she maybe because she never missed a bullet, you know, she never missed to catch a bullet. She doesn't know even if she's bulletproof, but she's supposed to be, I think. But she just does that because that's what she's supposed to be doing, her warrior, you know, reactions and everything. So that's like an instinct pretty much. And she doesn't want to see if she is maybe bulletproof. So she will probably never stop blocking anyways.
That's a good call. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe she just
that's a
doesn't know
good.
that she can. But you know, the Amazons are not bulletproof because one got shot in her movie trailer.
Yeah, but she's not like them. She's daughter of Zeus, 100%. So she's half god to the very least, and they're who knows what they are, but they're not human. But they're not, half god at the same time. At least not that we know of
Yeah,
so
they never
far.
said what they were. They never said what those Amazons were, did they?
Well, we see when we see the movie because the movie universe and how they establish the story and powers of everybody is different from the comic books, even slightly, but maybe. So who knows? We're just going to watch the movie and we'll see.
Yeah, because aren't the Amazons in this trailer for the BVS? I mean, for this Justice League trailer, they're part of this fight too, right?
Oh yeah, they are.
And so, from what I
What the
heard, is
hell
that
is happening?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know what's going on. Well, you lost Malik.
We lost both. Malik, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in the trailer, from what I understand, they're saying that the Amazons have a lot to do with telling this story of what's going on with Darkseid and their first encounter with him or something like that. I don't know where I'm getting that from, but for some odd reason, I got the impression that we're going to get some kind of a telling through the Amazons of what's going on. So they've dealt with, because she said it in BVS that she's dealt with gods before or monsters before.
Creatures from another dimensions, another worlds.
Is that what she said? Yeah. Yeah, because he said it's from my world. So she said she's dealt with the creatures from other worlds.
Yeah, exactly what she said. Paul, can you hear us? Paul?
Yeah, Paul. Paul.
Paul?
Oh no. Oh no.
What the heck is happening with the connection?
So
is he using his computer or is he using his phone?
I can't hear anything.
Oh no.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear the rest of you. I've been trying for a
Uh-oh.
little bit, but I can't. I can see everybody. I just can't hear. Try to restart this thing a bunch of times.
Whoa. What the heck is happening?
Maybe he can change his browser or something like that.
Oh yeah, the browser, yeah.
Change the browser or change computers. Or close some windows. Maybe he's got windows open.
Yeah.
Causing him but
I just can't hear anything.
Can you hear me at
but I
least?
can't hear.
Can you hear me or not?
So
well,
what about
let me try
Aquaman?
something different.
If you have headphones, okay, I'm going to write.
Different.
Yeah, talk
I'll
to
be
him
back.
through Facebook. So anyway, as far as I saw with Aquaman, Aquaman is pretty different than what anything I've seen in the comics. I mean, he's a little closer to the 52, although I didn't pay a lot of attention to the 52 comic on Aquaman. But I'm really liking Momoa. I'd like to know what his power set is, because I'm not sure if he flew or he jumped off the Batmobile or what's going there. They got him pretty beastly.
I think he's jumping.
He's jumping?
Yeah, because why else he will need, like a push, so to speak, from the Batmobile if he can't do that himself.
You think that was a push, or was he just riding along to have a conversation with Batman? Because they seem to be pushing a relationship between those two guys.
I don't know. It was looking like, Batman was driving really fast, so, Aquaman could jump and, directly into the parademons. And then we see actually Cyborg going in the same direction and then turning back because the parademons, took Aquaman away. So you can see that if you watch the trailer again.
Oh, they did. The parademons took Aquaman away. I didn't catch that. That's
yeah. And also, Wonder Woman took two parademons out of Batman's car. I mean, not out of, from Batman's car very fast. And then she was on the street, like a very long shot. And that was so fast. And nobody saw that as well. We have to, pause it all the time.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. I used to be a little better at this. I got to get on my game here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are too fast in the trailer, unfortunately.
All right, so somebody commented earlier. I hate to be jumping around, but there's so much going on in this thing. Somebody commented earlier about Wonder Woman's fighting style being like Xena's, and I did notice that she does a lot of leg sweeps and whatnot in her fighting style.
No, that's normal. That's completely normal, and that turned out to be one of my friends from Facebook. So yeah, he explained it a bit to me in the chat on Facebook here. Let me just see what he said.
Oh, I see what you said. She did knock two parademons off his car. It was fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, he didn't mean to say that she's fighting like Xena and that's bad or anything like that. She meant it in he meant it in a good way. But
I wouldn't
that's
take
not,
it bad anyway.
yeah, but it's not like Xena. It's like I said, very swift and quick, and it's more superhero-y because she's obviously superhuman. So it cannot be like Xena. It could be similar in some fighting moves, but fighting is fighting. So
Yeah.
Slow motion does the trick, says Tom. Okay, Paul said something. 1 second. Okay, he's trying. He says he's trying. Probably it's the browser or something.
So what do you get out of this trailer, Falaga?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna have a lot of good action. I like that.
Just sick.
Yeah, everybody's going down. You said a lot of good action in the trailer?
Yeah. But when it comes to superhero films, I don't want too much. It's okay to have some of the stuff, like to have some political stuff. Let's take a look at what was it? Was it Winter Soldier? Or was it? I think it was Winter Soldier.
No political stuff, Sammy. No,
like that.
no.
Well, that's what he was saying.
Well, I'm just saying, with Winter Soldier, that's cool, but so long as it doesn't sacrifice from the overall kick-ass action, you know what I mean? But it's a good one, and you have a strong villain like Alexander Pierce, Robert Redford, how he was in Winter Soldier. I absolutely love that guy. I love my villains. Oh, Marie, I really wish you would have knocked first.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Watch that again. So there is a threat, and his name is Alexander Pierce, and he's just like, he just, you caught me. What are you gonna do about it? I love that. But yeah, I'm just all about like strong villains, and when it comes to superhero films and really any kind of action films, just take a look at Hans Gruber, right? But and just for superhero films, I just want like a lot of action. For me, I know Daredevil gets a lot of hate, the movie, but I like how it was like a comic book. It had like a comic book format, a structure to it. It was literally like a comic book come to life. It's kind of like by Netflix? The numbers, the way. No, well, that's cool too. But I'm talking about the Ben Affleck one, the Jon Favreau one.
Okay.
Daredevil back in like 2003. I thought that was a great one. And
you're talking about with
Ben Affleck,
the Kingpin and Bullseye.
Yeah, Bullseye.
Like those villains?
Coming first. I like those villains, cheesy, and I forgot that guy's name, the one who played Kingpin. Hold on here. Hold on. His name is I can't remember, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just like.
I can too.
I like. Yeah. He was John Coffin in 8 Mile, right? Or Green Mile. I'm sorry.
The big guy. Yeah. But what about him?
Yeah, he was fine as Kingpin. Kind of a little bit cheesy too, and. Wesley, I'm from the Bronx. This is something you can't understand, And, he's preparing his fight for Daredevil. The way the structure of the film was, from one fight after another, it was literally like a comic book format. I could easily see that, even though I don't think it's adapted exactly like in the comic book, but I could actually see a comic book version of that film in a comic book and read it. The way how it's structured. The first fight between Daredevil and Elektra. In the play yard, and then again with Bullseye and and Daredevil, you know, and then again,
I agree with you.
you know
I
what I
agree
mean?
with you
Yeah,
on that.
I,
But
I like that
okay,
kind of stuff. Yeah.
if you like those type of villains that they've been doing in the Marvel Cinematic U, which they've gotten a lot of criticism, and even that one, because that wasn't part of Marvel Cinematic U. But if you like those villains, how did you feel about Lex?
He was not good though. I thought for some reason. Now here's the thing for me. Maybe it's just because I don't like Jesse Eisenberg. That could also be the thing. But
can you separate Jesse from that role and still say how you felt about
I
Lex?
cannot. I cannot.
Okay.
Now I don't know if I think it was Jesse Eisenberg that was in Zombieland. I could tolerate him in there. He was okay in there. You know, I liked Zombieland, and he was good in Zombieland. But you know, I guess when I think of a Lex Luthor kind of villain, and I know he's supposed to be like the son, but if he's supposed to kind of like take that place, I wish he would, you know, act a little bit better than that. Not, you know, not to me, not like I don't know, not like what we saw, you know. That now, like I said, that's just me. That's just me.
He was pretty insane. I mean, it's not my favorite portrayal of Lex Luthor. I prefer the more, you know, standard one, you can say, but that was something totally different, and it was pretty crazy. I never thought that I would see a villain like that, but he was a villain in every possible way. So in that sense, he did his job as a villain because he was really terrible in every way. So if you think about it this way, other than that, I really can't stand him. But yeah, he did what he was supposed to be doing.
So Eisenberg was taking people out the role by himself. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, Lex, him talking to him and he leaves me. That's hilarious.
Oh boy, what the heck happened?
He just walks away. So Eisenberg was taking people out of the role, and I mean that's sad, man, because I really, you know, I haven't seen a lot of Jesse Eisenberg stuff. You know, so when I saw him, he was only typecast as Lex Luthor for me, and as a weird, dorky, and extremely manipulative person. So unfortunately for me, that I don't have the problem with. I've seen him so many times, and he's acting as the same person all the time. I just thought he was absolutely masterful in that position. And I would love to see where he's going to go with Justice League if they're going to have him do anything else, because the way he manipulated all three characters, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and everybody else, even the government, everybody was fooled by this guy. That was masterful.
Yeah,
he was a step ahead of everybody the whole movie. You know, until they realized it was him, and they took him down. But man, I thought that was masterful. That was almost a Netflix caliber villain there for me.
Yeah, he was villain in the truest sense of the word. So no matter if you don't like the behavior of him, and some people, Tom here seems to be liking him. Hi, Tom, again in the comments. He agrees.
He just said he agrees.
He says, I enjoyed Lex as a villain. Don't know what the hate is about. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing is he's a villain, so you're supposed to hate the villain anyway, right? I mean, why do we love villains? I mean, that makes everybody evil to me. And we should hate a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never liked the villain anyways.
I'm just saying that I didn't like how his acting, I don't know his acting, the personality that he gave him, and his mannerisms and the way he spoke. Like I said, that's just me. You know, I go more for villains that are kind of like a Hans Gruber or a Tommy Lee Jones from Under Siege. Do you know what I mean? Or an Alexander Pierce.
But okay, in the BVS, I hate to keep going back there because we haven't established a villain for this movie series yet. We don't know how Darkseid or Steppenwolf is going to behave. We don't even know who the true villain is, you know. But in the sense that we had Lex, I mean, did you even recognize his mastery of manipulating Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and even the U.S. government? I mean, did you catch that? Did it resonate with you at all that he was able to manipulate everybody and stay a step ahead of all of those people?
I suppose so, but I guess I would have. I'm just saying. I guess I would have liked him better if he was a little bit more. This is just preference, you know, down to earth kind of villain.
Down to earth.
No,
I
no,
would,
maybe that's not the word, but like a Hans Gruber. I know I keep going back to him, or you know who Hans Gruber is, right? I
Who
know
was
you
it?
probably know Davin.
Who
Oh,
was
you
he?
don't know? You don't know him? Okay.
I remember, but I just don't. I'm not
Alan Rickman's character in Die Hard.
Oh,
Or
okay, yeah.
I'm just trying to think of.
Yeah, that's a direct one-on-one.
Yeah, just like
yeah.
your typical kind of I'm like old school. I kind of like villains like that, or like Alexander Pierce. How he for me it doesn't have to be all like what he was. I don't know, like a hyper freak weirdo, like that. Or Gene Hackman in the original Supermans. He was a bit. What did he want? He wanted beachfront property, right?
Right.
Yeah, I like that. But
right.
See, he wasn't acting like that. Like I said, I'm old school. I just like it like that.
Okay.
That's just my preference. That's just my thing.
So who are our villains in this trailer?
I just don't know. I just saw. I guess you call them they're called parademons, and I think I might have heard the term from like the
I'm sure
cartoons.
they're not going to show the main villain like they did with, with Doomsday, because everybody are going to be like, oh no, don't show, or something like that. So just parademons. I'm happy with that. Don't want to see anyone else Darkseid or anything like that.
We haven't seen Steppenwolf yet, have we? Except for in BVS.
Who the hell is Steppenwolf? Does he transform into a wolf? Is he a werewolf? Or what is he?
That's a good question. Yeah. That's a good question. Yeah, I mean we don't know what we're getting into with this movie. That's one of the things about it. We're showing a lot of graphics. We're showing a lot of abilities. There's going to be fighting, definitely fighting. And there's Unite the Seven. They did that, but they're really not showing you the conflict in the movie. We don't know what conflict we're up against. I mean, we assume that it's Steppenwolf, and we assume because we watch so much that it's Darkseid. But who's the, we don't know what the real obstacle is going to be for them.
Yeah, I think Steppenwolf and then Darkseid in Justice League 2. Just how I think that's going to go, because Lex saw him communicate on some kind of level with him. He knows that he's coming, and that he is about Steppenwolf. So yeah, Darkseid is there, but in the background still. At least I think so.
I predict this. Okay, I don't know so much about this. I don't know at all the Steppenwolf, but you say that Darkseid is going to be in there. So if he's going to be in there, here's how it's going to go down. He's got to be in there. There's parademons in there, but here's how it's going to go down. He's trying to convert the atmosphere and everything on planet Earth to become that, like in Apocalypse, where he comes from, so he can kind of take over the world and just kind of rule our world like he's taken over so many. It's going to be something to that effect when the film comes out. I'm almost sure.
Sure hope not. I sure hope not.
I have a feeling. If you look at how the parademons are kind of taken over, and then that weird whack dream that he was having, Batman and BVS.
Well, the horrible thing about that is if he does that, that's the same exact thing Zod was trying to do. And so that means that they're going to keep having the reoccurrence of the same villainous problem over and over again. I hope he has more motivation.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's just my guess. I predict that's going to be something to that effect, where he's
sorry about it.
Well, I think that what we saw in BVS, that dream, another dimension or another, you can say, reality, possibility of another reality, what we saw there is not a conversion, from one world to another, but it is just how this place that we saw is going to look like if there is like a huge death and destruction, on that place. So just the nature and buildings and everything were destroyed logically. So that doesn't mean that it's converted to something else. It just means that everything is destroyed, and we saw the Omega sign and all of that. So we don't need to have a planet go into another state of something just to have that destruction and descent and everything.
Now, but do we even think that's planet Earth with the Omega sign and everything? Batman being there?
The what sign? Omega sign? What is that?
That's that big sign that was on the ground that had that circle with the line at the bottom.
That's the Darkseid logo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the Darkseid logo. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was Apocalypse that Batman was standing on, wasn't it? With the big Omega sign on the ground.
I don't know. I saw like skyscrapers destroyed in the background, like beyond the omega sign. At least that's how I remember it. So I still think
Jesus.
that this is still Earth. Yeah.
Okay.
What the hell happened to Malik?
I have no idea. I'm just
Seems
going
like
to try.
is Paul even getting a word in? Because it seems like he pops in and then he just drops out and then Paul?
Paul, can you hear us still?
Paul?
No, he can't. I'm just going to write to him.
So, hey, I had a question about. I mean, it's kind of slightly a little bit off from the trailer. I don't know if you'll entertain it, but I was watching people comment on Brett Ratner's comment on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was curious of what anyone thought about Brett Ratner saying that Rotten Tomatoes has put a damper on critics. I mean, their reviews are inaccurate. The numbering system that they use is inaccurate, and it shouldn't be used anymore because it's messing up movies. It's giving people bad reviews when they don't deserve bad reviews. You know, like you have a review rating, and I'm kind of paraphrasing. I guess I could look it up and read the whole thing, but I'm paraphrasing that, and I agree with him that the review rating has it that, you know, somebody might be on the fence with a movie or give it like a somewhat less than a 5-star review, but it ends up becoming a negative review, even though they don't totally believe that it's a bad review and number rating. Has anybody saw that?
Yes, I did actually. Well, Rotten Tomatoes is not, I don't think it's the site itself, but the critics there, because they have to be certified in a way, they're such snobs that they no longer view movies like us, I don't think. So that is why sometimes they're screwing a rating and they just don't care. I mean, just look at how they write the reviews. Something very profound, but at the same time, you know, a lot of words, but at the same time didn't say a lot about the movie. Just very, high level words, but they're just so, I mean, it's just ridiculous overall. So I don't care, but the problem is that some people that don't have a mind of their own and their own opinion, they just go read that and they don't see the movie, or they just automatically think that it sucks, which just speaks, about those people that they're just stupid. So
Well, and I don't want to call them stupid. I mean, I agree with you, but if you're going to watch a movie, and you're not thinking about movies all week long, but you say, okay, all of a sudden I want to go out this weekend, and I want to see this movie. Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes has to say, since they're supposed to be a respected medium. Okay, I'll look at Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, this thing's got a 20%. Well, maybe I'll go to see something that has a 60% or a 70% that I may not have wanted to see, but it's got a better rating. Maybe it's a better movie, and so all of a sudden you saw 20%. And you're not going to take the time, because you never had the time in the first place to read all these reviews. You're just like, oh, let me go see this movie. A lot of people are not going to put all this time into it that we put into it to read these reviews. They just want to see something entertaining for the moment. If you look on your phone and you're hanging out with some friends, you say, well, it's got a 20 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't want to see that. Let's go see something else. There's a lot of people who are doing that nowadays.
I don't.
They really shouldn't, because it's not an opinion of. Although you can see actually the opinion of the people, but everybody has so different, taste and views and so on. And that's why when I see whatever review of some movie, I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to see that anyways, because I do want to see how it is, and maybe I will like it. Sometimes I end up really liking it, sometimes I don't. So just everybody has to at least try to see the movie on their own, whatever that movie is.
Yeah, I don't go to the Rotten Tomatoes at all. Just like if it happens to if I go somewhere and there's a brief thing where it gives me like numbers, like it will say something like 4.7 out of 5 and then 77% or whatever. I don't go to the Rotten Tomatoes, but that's why when I want to see a review of a film, I come on YouTube and I watch you guys. Like I said it before in comments too, and I mean that. I trust you guys' reviews more than the professional reviewers. and I just listen to that in addition to the way I feel about a film, and I take what I hear from what you guys, the people, have to say, and then I base my opinion on it, whether I want to see it or not necessarily like the rating score. So that's just me, and I'm not talking about IGN or anything like that, or going to GameStop. I'm talking about going to folks like you guys, watching like her, Gary, and watching Trey Passer, and just watching the people, And same goes for Blu-rays as well. When they do Blu-rays, like I caught your Davin, I caught your Rogue One review. That was really cool how you were able to do that. You integrated. Yeah, I remember, and I think I commented on this. So I like that. Because people are the fans. You know what I mean? Like we're just like I'm just like you. We're just like her and him, and
regular people.
Yeah, we're just regular people. We're not getting paid for it. If you like something, and we're all the same. So that's why I trust you guys more. We have more in common. We're not getting paid.
Actually, just to add, as far as I know, Rotten Tomatoes critics don't get paid for giving their reviews there at all. They're just giving their reviews because they're accepted in the site. So basically, no one is paying them, and I don't think it is.
But I also don't. No. But I also don't talk to them. I don't know them. Yeah. I know you.
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's why I trust you guys.
Thank you, Sammy. Somebody says, "Hey guys, check the Justice League Wikipedia. Look who is in the cast." Well, I'm going to check. Okay, although IMDb should be more, damn it,
who's in the cast of what?
Justice League.
Okay,
so based on starting Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller. Oh boy, I can't say his name. Ray Fisher, Willem Dafoe. Oh, wait a second. Is he supposed to be there? Jesse Eisenberg, Jeremy Irons, Dan Lane.
You said Jeremy Irons is in here?
Well, yeah, he was Alfred.
Oh, Alfred.
Yeah.
Alfred or okay.
Yeah, he was Alfred.
Oh yeah, okay. And J.K. Simmons is Commissioner Gordon. Okay.
Well, did you mean Willem Dafoe? Because I don't remember him being in the cast.
So we're gonna have the Green Goblin?
Or he was. Just wait a second. I think
we got some good prices here. We got Transformers, a movie for $14.69. The Iron Giant, $5.99. These are blues, and I got to get that Mummy collection for $25.09. Sorry about that, but I just had to point that out, guys. If you're not familiar with those sales.
Ezra Miller. Oh boy.
And Dracula is $25.97. Collection too. These are the old Universal ones.
Okay, Sammy. We have to talk about Iron Fist now.
Okay.
Because
should we wait for Paul, or maybe he has to restart? Maybe tell and Malik what's going on here.
Well, I said to Paul to try to use his phone, and Malik said sorry, he had to leave.
Oh.
Had to take my father to the emergency room. Oh, damn it.
Okay. I hope everything is okay, Malik.
Yeah. Okay, so Devin, what did you say? You haven't seen Iron Fist?
No, I'm no help to anyone. I'm the worst.
Shit. Okay, well, hold on here.
Damn it.
Let me let Malik know. Hey, Malik.
Well, he had to take his father to the, so.
No, that's why I typed, "Hey, Malik, I'm sorry to hear that."
Okay,
I'm just saying my goodbyes to him is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Hope all gets well with him. Okay, here we go. Now, I'll just tell Paul maybe he has to restart or something. Restart your PC or something, and then check the settings to make sure audio is checked for headphones. I don't know. Was he using headphones? I can't remember.
Malik?
Speakers.
Malik?
No, for Paul.
No, Paul, no.
Paul was not using it? Okay.
Okay,
so all right, let's go ahead. You go ahead and start off then and start talking about it, and I guess that's what you like, I guess.
Yeah, first, Devin, do you mind any spoilers?
No, not at all.
Okay, just wait a second. Army Hammer is listed as Green Lantern on Wikipedia. Check now.
I didn't see any of that.
Oh, I didn't see that at all. He's not being confirmed, at least as far as I know. And also, Wikipedia is not something that you should count on because everybody can write there.
Maybe some with IMDb, but even that, I was, Samuel Jackson said that shouldn't be trusted. The IMDb post.
Well, yeah, IMDb at least is more trusted because they're not releasing, some of the actors on purpose there, but it's more accurate than Wikipedia for sure. Okay, so Iron Fist. I know, Sammy, how you feel about Iron Fist, but as I said, we should have like a TV show hangout because I have a lot to say about why I'm having a problem with Iron Fist, and that is also connected to the DC universe and their shows and how they are presenting their characters. So basically, it's similar problems with both how Iron Fist is and how, let's say, the Flash from the TV series is, because they are both very naive from one hand. And it's not like, before when superheroes were in the TV shows presented super powerful and, they're doing everything on their own and so on. Now there's like a
Are
big...
you talking about the Linda Carter Wonder Woman and the Adam West Batman?
No,
the TV superhero shows from before.
Sammy.
those are
Forget those shows. Forget those shows right now.
Well, you said from before, so to me, those are from before.
Yes.
But okay.
No, I never think of something that was on air before I was even on this earth, even close.
Okay.
Not even close. Okay, so it's kind of hard to start the point with the problem, but basically now the superheroes on the TV plane are not as powerful, and they always have like a bunch of people helping them. There's so many occasions when I watch the Flash, the Arrow, and even Supergirl, when they don't, the heroes can't do anything without the group behind them to help them in a particular situations. Even that's more actually prominent in the Flash. Let's say you see Jesse, the woman that is the Flash.
Jesse Quick. Okay.
Jesse Quick, yeah. And she is fighting with that big blue guy. Savitar. And she's so out of her league, and she's like pushed to the ground, and she's talking,
Oh yeah, and HG, or I think that's his name, HG.
Yeah, no matter what. And she's like, tell me what to do now. Like, tell me what to do. And that is always the case with everybody. Like, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. And Barry also, he's totally lost, even when he fought that gorilla,
Grog.
Yeah, and that other gorilla and the gorilla planet dimension and so on, in that Coliseum.
He was like
Salazar,
that's it.
Like
Sounds so much like Savitar. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But even then, he didn't do any move without asking, like, what to do, And they're like, okay, Sam, okay, now, Barry, go and hit them here and hit them there and do this and do that. Try the speed thing. And
I feel you on that, yeah.
Just so frustrating. Like, what do we need those heroes for? They're such idiots. They can do anything on their own. They can think for themselves. They can fight for themselves. What heroes are they? What is this? It's ridiculous.
It's
and
super.
And now, Sammy, I'm getting to Iron Fist.
Okay.
And now to Iron Fist, the problem that I have is that, first, as you know, he was. Since he was 10, he was raised by all those monks in that different dimension. But as we know, those monks in that dimension, that is very advanced compared to Earth. It's very advanced martial arts, philosophy, and just spiritual awakening of whatever kind, And the way that he summons the fist and all of that, that is all spiritual. It's all power that is not material and so on. But all those things should make him very wise, very instinctive, very smart, very swift with his
here we go.
actions, his fight, everything. And he's not.
Oh,
I got it on
right.
my phone.
Hey, okay.
Oh,
So that's good. That works. Okay.
you
Yeah.
started with the Iron Fist now, Paul.
Yeah. Real quick,
Yeah.
Gary, if I could just interject about what you said about having to fall back on people like with Flash. That's super apparent in Green Arrow, especially with that new crew he brought in. I just don't like it, with the exception of that new cop girl that's taking over for White Canary, I think is her name, the one with the voice.
Well, Black Canary,
Black
right?
or Black Canary, yeah, her. That when they brought her in, I can take her. You know, I have no problems with her. But all her other crew, like the guy in the hockey mask, Mr. Terrific, and just
Wild Dog.
okay,
Yeah,
Wild Dog's his name. Yeah, I don't buy that whole new crew that they brought in. Why do it? I just don't like that. It's too many. It's too big now. You know, that's just me though. You know, it's
Actually,
become
haven't
too
seen
big.
the last 3 episodes, by the
Oh,
way.
that's
so
why. Okay.
watch out what you're telling me. But
Okay.
the point
Oh, so
was,
it's more than 3 characters. If you don't know those guys with the hockey mask and
I know.
oh, you know
I mean,
them. Okay.
I just saying that in general. I haven't seen the last 3 episodes, like
Okay.
episode
Okay.
15, 16, and 17.
Right.
So just don't tell me anything about that. But
Okay.
Paul, just to catch you up real
Yeah.
quick,
Yeah.
if you didn't hear it, I was talking about what problem I have with Iron Fist is the same problem, or is close to the same problem that I have with Barry as the Flash. I mean, the DC shows, how they're so, especially Barry, how he's naive and all of that. And with Iron Fist, the problem is that he was for 15 years, and actually that's more than he lived before that, because he was there when he was 10. So for 15 years, he was exposed to amazing wisdom and martial arts training and so many things that make a person grow a lot faster, matures a lot faster emotionally, physically, whatever you like. I mean, he should be on another level, like super wise beyond his years. He should see every move that comes his way, but he's a complete idiot, and he's naive, and he is not wise. He can't control his emotions. Well, in case you don't know, when you're going to study martial arts, especially in another dimension that, like I said, is another level even on itself, you should learn how to control your emotions. Like years ago, one of the first things that they will teach you is how to control your emotions, your chi and everything, so you can become this perfect fighter, because the fighting techniques on themselves are not the hardest part. The hardest part is controlling your emotions and how you think in a fight and what you feel and so on. And that are the basics, and he doesn't know them. He's completely like newborn baby. Like it's terrible. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I can't accept how he is in the show, because it's not logical to me.
Well, I think the reason they did it is because to extend. Remember, it's 13 episodes, so they got to kind of drag it out. I agree with what you said. He should be more disciplined and all that other stuff. But I think just for drama and to drag it out, that like he couldn't see that his stepfather was manipulating him, and not stepfather. I mean, his father's business partner was manipulating him. He couldn't see that, and he couldn't see that well, I guess I can't fault him for calling Wing, because he didn't know she was part of the hand. He didn't know that. That I can understand. But it's not. I keep saying his stepfather. His father's business partner was manipulating him from the beginning. And I could see he was like a little bit too naive, and especially when he expected to come back and just walk right into the company.
Yeah.
And see his friend. He was just a little bit too naive about it. That's why when he met the lawyer, and she told him, "Listen, you got to listen to me. This is how it has to be. You can't, just expect them to accept you and stuff, and basically give you back the company." And I'll say that, like I said, he was a little bit too naive for somebody that should have learned discipline and all that stuff from the people who taught him, the martial arts. And I say he should have been smarter about it. But I think
15 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's bad writing for me, Paul. I know what you mean, but that's super bad writing. They could have gone a totally different route, make it a lot more, deeper, more interesting. But no, that's just very easy writing. So I don't appreciate that, because we're getting that anyways in the other shows, and now on the Netflix shows where you expect a higher quality of things, and they decreased the quality since Jessica Jones, I feel.
Yeah,
It's,
Jessica.
yeah.
Like I was telling Sammy, my favorite in the order that they go is I love the Daredevil the first season, and then I really love Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Best one to me, Jessica Jones, and then I said what was the other one? Then I think Daredevil 2.
No, I thought you said Daredevil first, and then Jess Jones, and then you said and then you said Iron Fist, and then you said Luke.
Yeah, the first season of Daredevil. The second season of the first season of Daredevil's the second was Jessica Jones.
Oh, okay.
And then the third one was Daredevil season 2.
Okay.
And the reason I didn't like Luke Cage as much is because the villain at the end, the guy that was like the big villain.
Okay.
To me, he was just too over the top.
Diamondback. Okay.
The guy he fought at the end. Remember?
Can you dig it?
Yeah, he was like way over the top. He was just over the top.
I like that though, but that's just me.
I like they had the guy that they killed off, the guy
Cottonmouth,
the nightclub.
Yeah, okay.
Cottonmouth. He was really good. I wish he would have been the main villain, because he was good. He was a good actor anyway. He just won
he won the Academy. Yeah.
Yeah, he was better.
He was really good.
Mahashapa or whatever, Ali or something. Yeah.
To me, but they killed him off early in that show, and then I understand why they did it, because they wanted to.
Alfred Woodard is pretty good. So,
they wanted the cousin to they wanted her character to
blow up the damn ship, Picard. Yeah.
She's but it was a little bit too naive. But see, I like the villain, the guy that was running the hand at first, the guy that
Nabu. Oh, okay.
Remember the guy with the beard, the guy that was really in charge?
Hudaka or something like that, Hodokan or something.
Yeah. He was a good villain, because he never raised his voice to do anything. He was manipulating her to bring him in. Yeah. And all this stuff, and he took over once they captured Madam. What's her name?
Madam Gao. Madam
Gao, and he said, "I'm taking over all her businesses." And he went to the guy, his father's business partner, and said, "Listen, I'll give you a better deal." And
oh yeah.
He was smart. As a villain, he was smart. He wasn't, he was a good villain, because he was smart, and hopefully he'll come back in season 2, because he was a good villain.
I agree.
He wasn't over the top. He wasn't over the top.
I was gonna say all those issues about with Danny, about his what was the word you used? Naive, and the word that
angry, emotional.
All of that. And what did you call it? What Gary? The word she was trying to look for, discipline, like his lack of discipline or whatever. For me, I hear you. I understand.
His lack of everything, basically.
I got you.
Emotional maturity.
But when I watch these, the way I see it, and it's just the way I perceive it. For me, I just see it like he did leave early. And the training was more a lot of abuse. If you guys recall, if he failed, he would get a beating, something like that. So it wasn't like a true, it wasn't full. They're pretty hardcore there. I think it's pronounced.
That was just in the beginning, Sammy.
No. It was a part where, was it the beginning? Was it, when Joy Meacham was kidnapped by that other group with the hatchet group? That thing, he had that fight in the corridor into the elevator. It was during that scene when he was talking to her, saying like the monks would beat on him,
when he was a kid,
right?
When he was a kid,
of course. And then
that was when he first got there. When he first got
there, that's fine. But then the whole thing he knows is just me now, okay? The success would like lead to the next fight, which I would assume that the whole thing there is consistent of a lot of fighting and stuff like that. But number 2, he left early. And number 3, he already has some kind of mental issues, and he's suffering from, the whole thing, losing his parents and everything. So that's why I don't mind it that he is the way he is. And in a way he left when he was 10, not left, but he was stranded or whatever and taken when he was 10. So he kind of has the emotions of a 10-year-old in a way. Like he hasn't really kind of grown out of it, it's all he knows. Only he knows from adulthood is what he knows in a monastery. This is just me, so that's why it didn't bother me so much. That's just me though.
Sammy, the logic here is just not adding up. You know, he can't be at that emotional state that he was when he was 10, because 15 years has passed. Like I said, 15 years he was there. That is 5 years more than he was alive before he got there.
I understand.
And like I said, everything that they will teach him there is all about maturity, emotional stability, how to control everything. So he should have mastered that like the first
Sure.
5 years. Every post-traumatic stress
Sure,
should have
understood.
totally disappeared. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. That's the most spiritual you can get
Sure.
in the whole world. And have in mind that is not even on Earth. That's you know,
I
as I
see.
mentioned, that is crossing with Earth every
I hear
15
ya.
years and so
Okay.
on. So that is still bad writing for me. There's no
Understood.
excuse for
Understood.
him behaving like a kid, just absolutely nothing. And he's you know, he speaks English like he never left America. So 10 years of his life
Right.
he knew English. Then 15 years he's supposed to not hearing any English at all, but he's speaking normal American English. Then that
Understood.
other guy Davos, that is hairy as a
Has a
monkey.
has a British accent. I know. I understand.
Yeah,
I
he's
understand.
speaking with British accent. I mean, what the
But
heck?
I chalk that up to just superhero, you know, cheesy writing, and you have to suspend your disbelief. And that's just me. You know, it is a show
Oh.
after all. It is not reality. So I mean, I don't
It's
let
a
that.
Netflix
I don't
show.
let. I
I
don't let.
mean,
I don't let things like that distract from my overall enjoyment. And I try to, just like with my video games, I try to fill in the gaps. So like with glitches in the game, I'll use that as reference. I try to come up with a reason why there's that glitch in the game, even though the developers didn't intend for that to happen. I like to fill in the gaps, things to explain why as best I can, even though if they don't add up, you know, 1 + 1 maybe equals 3 in this case, but I'm okay with that. And I just try to let that be the reason why, you know, this happened, even though it may not really make sense or add up, like I said, just so I can continue to enjoy it the way that I enjoyed it. It's not all real anyways, you know, all of it is fake. So just kick back,
well,
sit
Yeah.
back, relax.
I know.
That's
I know.
just me though.
The
I
one
know,
thing
Sammy,
I
but
wouldn't mind,
they don't deserve that from us, because it's like they can feed us anything now, because they're superheroes, so we don't care if anything makes sense. Well, because it's a fictional story, they have to make everything make sense, at least majority of it. Otherwise, how can
Yeah.
we even buy
And-
into it? How can we connect to anything? And
And
if it's
it's not,
silly,
it's
I'm
not
out of
just,
it.
yeah, it's not just Iron Fist. You know, you'll find throughout the whole span of everything, even in the or even in the cinematic, you know, universe, you know, the movie world, you know, there are flaws in Civil War as well. There are flaws in everything, but you know, I just try to look past that because it is just a film. I like to see it like it builds character, his anger issues, and when he's going through that thing in his mind. For me, it makes for a very interesting character. I always find characters that are not perfect, that are less than perfect, that are more closer to human, that are more closer to us, to be the more satisfying and enjoyable characters to watch, more enigmatic for me in any case, because you know you can kind of relate more to like the humans. I can relate more to someone like Danny Cage or to a Batman, even to a certain point, because of the fact that he is human. I can't relate at all to Superman because he's absolutely totally unreal, and then that weakness with kryptonite, you know, it's
Well,
so
that's fantasy, Sammy. That's the
polarizing there,
point
but
to fantasy. If they're like human,
right,
why I will even have any interest of watching them? And if you know, Iron Fist is like any other guy on the street, let's say,
of course,
why
but
is this interesting? But
that
he's not like any guy on the street because he's acting like a
that's
crazy baby.
of
So
course
that's even worse.
that's just personal preference. That's for me in any case. I know Superman, obviously you're wearing the shirt, you know, Superman and Supergirl. I know you love the superheroes that are like all powerful, like Superman and nigh invulnerable, which is fantastic. That's great. But for me, I gravitate more towards the ones that I can kind of relate more towards, that are vulnerable, because for me, they make for more interesting characters. Like I said, that's just me, you know. I like it when a character has to try to survive, has to dodge the bullet to survive. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you know, they can get hurt. They're just like us, because otherwise, if I just see a character where bullets just constantly bounce off him, you can only tell a story. You know, a story can only go so far, and you can only tell so many tales with a character like that. But like I said,
Well, you
that's
know,
just me in any case.
Sammy, you know that that's not true, because we have tons of Superman comic books, and they all tell like amazing stories about
Of
him, about his
course, of
struggles,
course,
and he just fights enemies on another level that
of course,
can
but
hurt him, that can hurt the people that he loves. So that is other types of stories, but he's
of
not
course,
a
but
dumbass at the same
of
time and an
course,
idiot all the time. Because if
but
he is,
of course, but
what the hell?
I bet you won't be able to translate or adapt every single comic book like that into movies. You know, what works in comic books is kind of different than what's going to work in films. Like
Well,
that's just me in any case, but.
Sammy, here, because it's a show, we have 13 episodes. Each episode is 1 hour. They have a lot more time to develop a character and to tell a decent story than we have in the movies. So many times people say, well, because it's a movie, we don't really have that much time of a character development like we have in the show. Yes, that is true. And now we do have a show and we get like this. I mean, what we got. So I do think that the writing is decreased. I mean, the quality of the writing is totally decreased. And every single like CW show also, we just have to swallow everything, and it's completely ridiculous most of the times. And like I said, the problem there is also that not only the main characters are dumb asses, but they're only counting on their team. So if they don't have a team, they're not able to do anything. Barry's not able to move or run anywhere. Green Arrow is not able to pull off a arrow and shoot something. They're just like depending totally on their teams, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, never seen such things before in the show. Yeah, before, I mean, like the Flash show, Superman shows. I mean, Superman was always like on his own fighting. He was,
What's the Superman
uncovering
show?
things.
Are you talking about Smallville?
Lois and Clark, for
Lois and
goodness
Clark?
sake.
Okay.
Just in general, like in the comic books, always superheroes were doing their own things and so on. And now, like, team there, team here. And the superheroes are totally useless. They're just like a tool that the team just points in a direction and that tool goes there and does something. They're not making any decisions of their own. Especially Barry. Barry can get like a medal for huge, like the biggest dumbass out of them all. I mean, he constantly does stupid things.
Whoa! What are those
like
noises?
Several.
Is Davin still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm here.
okay, okay.
You guys had such a compelling argument that I didn't want to interrupt. It was good.
I didn't know you were okay.
Okay.
Keep on, Gary.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say how several episodes ago, when Kid Flash was taken from Savitar, and he's like screaming like, help me Barry, he's going into the portal, and Barry's like standing there like, and nothing. He's doing nothing.
Yeah.
He's not moving. He's not trying to pull him out. He's not doing anything. That's the same thing when his father got killed. The same thing. He doesn't move. He's just like standing there, just watches and nothing. Complete idiot. Like, what the hell? I don't want that guy to be my superhero. I mean, that was real
did
life.
bother me how he just stood there while his father died. He had time.
Yeah.
I agree with all the arguments. I mean, on both sides. Gigi and Falagar. I mean, I like the emotional connection with the heroes, and I think you're both saying the same thing. And I think at some point Falagar is actually, at times we all can make excuses for things that we like. I made mine with BVS. I liked all the things that people hate. I think it's character development, but a lot of people are like, that's just horrible acting or horrible development of that character, like we were talking about with Lex Luthor. The problem is, and I agree with the problem I see in the whole thing, if we go a little broader, if we continue to support these are the best TV shows we've had supporting superheroes of modern era that we've had in a long time. I mean, they're doing a lot of things that we want to see them do. If we stop supporting them, then they'll stop producing them, and then we won't have them at all. And so we're faced with the conundrum that if we won't get what we want in any kind of capacity, but they're at this point they're just farming out stuff. We're getting the same reproduced TV shows, and I would actually like to see. I wouldn't mind if Flash took a break for a while to get its story developed, get its story together. I wouldn't mind if Netflix took a moment to get a story straight. I don't want you to just throw a story at me and hope that it sticks. It's okay to get close to a character like Iron Fist, but we public have reasons that we would watch this stuff, and some of us can excuse it. But the rest of us, like me, I have no desire to watch Iron Fist because, like I said, watching the first half hour of it, I was like, this is idiotic. This is like a B movie at its best, and this has nothing to do. This guy, Danny Rand, has the stiffest neck of any martial artist I've ever seen. It has nothing to do with martial arts. He shouldn't be a martial artist. Exactly, he's horrible. I mean, that fight scene in the lobby was the worst thing ever. And I understand what Falagar is saying, that it's a point of maturity. He hasn't reached. There's a social maturity. What do you call it? Common sense that you should have when you're dealing with modern day situations, and he doesn't have that because he wasn't here. I get that. He wasn't mature enough to deal with things. He came in being all naive, thinking that, hey, I'm back, everybody. You should be happy to see me. I mean, that was almost sold properly, but then it just became silly. I mean, he kept saying, you don't belong here, and he kept being naive. He kept saying, you don't belong here, and he kept being naive. And it's like, okay, how are we going to keep going back and forth? Well, instead of me trying to figure this out, I'll just go to sleep. And so Netflix just played all night long while I was asleep because I couldn't deal with how silly that became in just the first few minutes of the show. I mean, in that regard, man, I really think that somehow we have to hold these people responsible for better content and not just farming out stuff to us and hoping that we will accept it. I agree with the Gorilla Grodd. I agree with the Salazar. I agree with all those things where Barry should be able to act. And it comes to the point, okay, he tells Kid Flash, oh, you need to follow me because I've been through it. I've learned from it. But yet every situation he cannot retain any knowledge. What he used the last time to win, he can't win with this time. The lightning bolts that he generated from running in a circle and throwing lightning at people, it doesn't work anymore for anybody. When is this stuff going to actually, when is he going to be smart enough to defeat a foe on his own? And it's just, I agree with all of that. They need to make some progress.
When he's 40, I have so much experience. You should listen to me. And 2 seconds later, he's rolling around in the, on the floor like somebody's kicking his ass.
Exactly. Well, they need to get smarter on how to deal with somebody with that type of ability. If you're going to take us to that fantasy world, you need to get into that fantasy world and be smarter about delivering that information. Take me to another place. I don't want to keep seeing the same problem over and over again. It's been 3 or 4 years of speedsters. I'm tired of it. Give us something new, a new challenge that Barry has to deal with, or just take a year off, man. If you don't have anything, just take a year off and do something else.
You know what? I could be wrong here, but I don't know if the format of how they make the shows for the TV and for Netflix is different, isn't it? I know Netflix, they do it all as one. That's why they're able to put it all up as one time, but for TV shows, because I think there's 22, 24 episodes, aren't they after they get to a certain point, they film some of it or a little more than half, but they're still filming it or still doing some more? Is that? I think that's how that works. Okay, yes. So right. I think with Netflix they have a little bit more time. That's why it comes out every year for that. And there's only 13 episodes, so there's less to write. Hey, but so I think. To me, in any case, I think, even though there's flaws on both sides on the shows, but I think, for me, in any case, Netflix is a little bit more solid than what we have, in the WB shows on the Flash and Arrow and everything, because there's more for it, and they can kind of change things on the fly, with the writing as they're airing it still. So sometimes they can kind of take a stupid turn and in the wrong direction in there. But with Netflix, I think it's they have more time to kind of write what they want to do, and so when they release it on on Netflix at one time, it's already written in stone because Auth 13 is already up there. Whereas with the show, like I said, I could be wrong on that, but I think but I guess you said that the way they film things for TV and Netflix is different. So that's why, to me, I think that Netflix has more of the solid writing. In Green Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, I do notice a recurring theme of everyone's still there, okay, where like you said, falling back on the team, okay, yeah, falling back on the team, and always, like you said, getting permission and stuff like that. I'm getting sick of that as well. I don't like how you have to fall back and rely on the team. I can understand, whoa, you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I can understand if you have maybe a partner or maybe 2 or 3 people, but when you have a whole entourage, it just gets too much for me.
Oh, not only that, Sammy, but I think writing from both sides, no matter how they are doing the shows, because I do know that sometimes on the CW shows they are figuring stuff out as they
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what happened actually with the Vampire Diaries, because they wanted our actress Nina Dobrev to come back for the last episode. So, but they
Okay.
didn't know that if she is even going to come back, because when she left the show, they were like, "Oh, yeah, she will never come back." But then she decided to come back, so they wrote her into the show and into the finale, and that is how the show
Yeah.
ended.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they write it like on the fly type of thing because of the structure. Okay. Yeah. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm getting at. So, like I said, there are flaws. Yeah. Fine. But to me, at least, I find Netflix writing to me to be a little bit more solid, and I like the fact that the violence level is there in the Netflix. They can swear, so for me, I gravitate more towards that, and it's for me is more believable. It's more closer to something like I would see in a film or direct to video film, as I like those as well. But versus with there are certain words that I know that they want to use into DC, like Flash and Supergirl, but they can't because it's on TV. They can't say shit, and stuff like that. And like with Luke Cage, with the language and everything, and there are things and the violence level. I think in Jess Jones, wasn't there a guy who drank the bleach, and he cut the guy's arm off, the father's arm, and was putting it in the blender. You couldn't do something like that for like Flash or Green Arrow. You couldn't show something like that. The torture scene. Oh, I better not say anything, but because you're
That's
behind
another
on
thing.
Flash. Yeah.
That's another thing, Sammy. What they can do, they cannot. Yes, we know that
Yeah.
Netflix shows are allowed to be more brutal, and we did see a lot
Yeah.
of brutal things in Iron Fist too, like a lot
Yeah.
of blood and gore, and
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is what I like. That's just me.
that's besides the point. I mean, whatever we have, blood or not, it's still bad writing. We can still have terrible writing in both type of shows. It just doesn't matter whether or not we have blood here and not blood there. If it's stupid, it's stupid, So that's
wow.
that's no connection to the blood at all.
All right. That's
Hey,
fine.
which one came first? Was it Luke Cage or was it Daredevil 2? Which one?
I think Daredevil season 2, and then Luke Cage. I think it went Daredevil.
Yeah,
Jess Jones.
you're right, Sammy.
Yeah, Daredevil season 2, Luke Cage,
Yeah.
and then Iron Fist.
I gotta say, man, after the first two series, Daredevil and then Jessica Jones. I mean, and then the first half of Daredevil 2, it kind of nosedived for me, man.
Really?
The whole Netflix
wow.
thing just nosedived. Yeah, man. I mean, there was some redeeming value in Luke Cage. The second season of Daredevil 2 is just so
I thought it was great. Wow.
Oh man, there's just things that didn't make sense where they had at one point they had so many production problems. Like they got up on the roof, they're supposed to be followed by all of these soldiers, and they got up on the roof, and all of a sudden the soldiers are like 100 yards away, and there's only like 10 of them, and they acted like there was hundreds of them. It was just weird, man.
Are you talking about the last episode, right, with those ninjas?
Yeah, with him and Electro on the roof, the Electro back and forth, it just got weird to me. I mean, it's like they started telling multiple stories, and that's in Jessica Jones and first Daredevil, the story had a flow from the beginning to the end. Yeah. It was one story, one cohesive story. But in Daredevil 2, they just started telling these multiple story things going on where villains came and disappeared, another one came and disappeared, and it just got weird there. And Luke Cage did the same thing. I don't know anything about this Iron Fist, but I mean, it just seems like they're going on a trend of, the consistency is not the same as it was when they first started the series.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like they don't have enough story to tell in the first place, so they're adding all these little weird stories together. Just like y'all said with Luke Cage and Cottonmouth, that should have been the entire series right there. That second part, man, they didn't need that mess.
Yeah.
I agree with you about Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
Cottonmouth, I think he should have been the main villain.
Yeah, all the way through.
And that fight at the end, though, I have to report with Luke Cage and who was it? The Diamondback in that suit. To me, that got a little cheesy. Kind of like a cheesy fight with that end. Yeah. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, despite all those flaws, and I still feel the same way with DC. As much as I complain, it doesn't bother me really. I still enjoy it, although it does piss me off about, with the DC thing about the always falling back, and the whole crew with Green Arrow, with the what do you call him, Ghost Dog or something, and with the hockey mask and
Ghost Dog.
yeah,
and Mr. Miracle.
and
Right?
Mr. Terrific, and that's just that new crew.
To Mr. Terrific.
That's and then the blonde, what's her name? Felicity Smoke is starting to kind of get on my nerves, even though that's
Mr.
bad.
Incapable.
I love blondes and blue eyes and stuff like that. So how that's saying something when I'm saying she's starting to piss me off. Felicity Smoke is, but I still enjoy those shows more so with the Netflix. Despite all those flaws, and I hear you, but for me, I just try to get through it. I try not to think about it too much. It's just a show, and I just enjoy it for the action, the fight sequences, and the story that is there, And I just that's just me. I know it's not for everyone, Especially I know Gary, you're a real hard critic, so I understand.
What? I'm not. I'm
well,
not. I'm just saying what it's super obvious to me because I'm not an idiot. I mean,
yeah, no. What I mean by super hard critic, I mean like you're less forgiving with the flaws, obviously because you're putting
they're
them
too
out.
much. I can't forgive like too much. If I'm seeing my heroes being more stupid than the average person, like in the last episode of The Flash, where Supergirl and the Flash were like regular people in that other world, and they saw that and they hear that somebody is shooting, and what they're doing there, come to the street, there's seeing the two gangs like shooting at each other, and they're right into like walk into the crossfire directly to be shot, like genius, like genius.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much.
What to say to that? Like, oh yeah, so awesome. They got shot, and now that their boyfriend and girlfriend are going to find out how to find out get to that thing to wake them up.
What show? What are you talking about? What part?
The Flash and the Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
And the musical. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So they're like lying on the the pavement, and they're like, "Oh, don't die" or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And, it's so dramatic. Well, they're in that mess in the first place because they're both extremely stupid. So
I gotcha. Yeah, I didn't like that. Yeah, that musical was like a throwaway episode. I did like when they took us out of it, but when it was in, I never liked the musical episodes anyways for things like when they did it with Buffy and Xena. I didn't really like it too much, but
yeah,
I don't know why they make those musical ones, but
because both actors can sing. That's why.
Did it get good ratings?
Haven't checked actually.
Yeah, that I don't know.
It didn't get a good rating from me. I gave it a 5.75. I think. I did.
What is it? Out of what?
Or I give it I gave it a 6 actually. I gave it a 6 out of 10. But I gave Gem the movie a 5.75 out of 10. That's out of 10.
Okay.
And the only reason why I gave it a 6 is because that whole thing when they were trying to stop whatever he was, that Cupid guy, or I don't even know what he was, but and they were trying to stop him on the street with Kid Flash and Martian Manhunter, and they kind of teamed up. And I think Vibe was there too. That was pretty neat. So all that 6 kind of went to that for the parts outside of the and plus I thought I thought that Supergirl's rendition of what was that song that she sang, Moon River, I kind of enjoyed that. Her rendition of Moon River was kind of nice. That's just me, and I'm sappy that way. Okay, if there's one thing you got to know about me right now, I love my cheese on my burger. Okay, I love my cheese. But
nobody cares, Sammy, about the songs. Nobody freaking cares about that. Everybody are a lot more concerned about how our stupid heroes are extremely stupid.
Right. No, yeah. I hear you, Gary. I hear you. All I'm saying is, for the most part, the songs all sucked. I'm just saying her rendition was good. That's all I'm saying.
They had 2.7 million people watching.
That's good, I think, for CW.
Is that good for CW? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. It's yeah, I think so. Actually, because they are getting like 3 million on some of the top shows, I think. Actually, come to think of it, Supergirl was much better in CBS or whatever.
Oh yeah, she was way better in CBS.
Yeah,
it made a lot more sense.
Yeah, the second season, I'm not crazy about the second season at all.
Yeah, it started good, I think. I was very, excited for Superman and all of that, but now it's just as sucky as The Flash and everything
Wow.
else. It's on
Oh,
that level of
wow.
stupid. And Supergirl is so dumb. She's getting really dumb.
So if I can ask you with Supergirl, whatever happened to the bad guy that was like kind of like the Lex Luthor kind of guy? I forgot his
Oh,
name, but is in the
he
first season
totally
of Supergirl.
disappeared.
What
Yeah,
happened
he's
to
not
him?
there.
Yeah, he
He's
Did
not
it,
completely
there.
disappeared.
he died, you mean?
Snapper Car. That was his name. Snapper Car. He just
No,
completely.
no,
Oh no, no,
not Snapper
no,
Carr.
no,
I'm talking
Snapper.
about
He's there. He's there. He's
No,
Yeah.
not Snapper. I'm sorry, not Snapper Car. Damn. I'm sorry. I can't remember his name now.
I
know.
don't know
I
his name,
can.
but he's in this movie here. Okay, Wolf Cop. Okay, I don't know his name, but
Damn it.
but
Wolf Cop. Wolf
yeah.
Cop, really, man?
yeah, it's
Uh,
good. But he's in there, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. He's supposed to be like a Lex Luthor kind of guy. He's also kind of smart.
yes, he's not there, Savvy. He just they're no longer. Oh, Maxwell Lord. Thank you,
Oh,
Michael.
what's his name?
Maxwell Lord. That's
Maxwell
it.
Maxwell
Lord.
Yeah,
Lord.
Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
Maxwell
Yeah.
Lord. Okay.
Yeah, he
So
was a good villain because
Did-
you know.
did he explain his disappearance, or he just
No.
died?
No.
No,
He just stopped showing
he's
up.
just not there anymore.
Oh, that doesn't
Yeah.
make
Just not there
sense.
no more.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
wondering. Okay, wow.
And they were trying to set him up with Alex, but of course now she's a
Yes, yeah.
lesbian
Oh
because
yeah.
Yeah.
why
Oh
not?
wow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
out of nowhere. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All my life I never thought what I like. I'm almost 30, but never really knew, what gender I like. So now I'm a lesbian.
Okay.
Basically,
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
happened
that
with
was
her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So Paul, where you going? What do you like about this Iron Fist thing?
okay. Yeah, like I said, I like there was one villain, the one villain guy that was in charge of the hand that you didn't know he was in charge of the hand at first until
Oh yeah.
Colleen Wing introduced him, Danny to the guy who was running that. It looked like a not like a camp or something for kids that got into trouble.
Yeah.
They were taking them off the street, and it looked like it was legitimate at first. That guy was smart because he wasn't
Yeah.
doing stuff that was obvious.
Yeah.
He was but he was controlling everything. Found out slowly that he was in charge of everything. He was a good villain.
Okay. I didn't know he was in
I
charge
like
of the
him.
hand. I thought she was saying that it was
Yeah,
a separate
he was.
branch of the hand.
Yeah,
It's still the hand.
It's a separate branch.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it
Yeah.
that way. Okay. All right. So
Yeah, and then remember after they captured Madame Gao, he basically took over
okay.
for her. He put her out of the way. He took over for her, and he was almost about to get everything he wanted. Remember, because he wanted
Yeah.
to take over he wanted to stay and make the deal with the partner for
Yeah.
company.
Harold Meacham. Yeah.
Yeah, Harold Meacham. Remember, he's going to make the deal with him, and then
Yeah.
so he could still be. So he was a good villain. I liked him
did
because he
like
was a
him.
good villain.
Plus, his
And then-
fighting was fantastic. I thought.
Yeah, and
That
then
guy can fight. I was kick ass.
and then he disappeared after a while after he got stabbed. Then his body disappeared, and then
Yeah.
you didn't see him anymore.
You know what I think? I think it's same thing's happening like with Elektra. You know, her body disappeared, so they're doing that same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but at
she's
least
coming
you
back, and they're gonna
saw,
bring her back,
yeah,
so.
you saw her.
Yeah.
She was in a chamber there trying to bring her back because apparently now we know that the hand has this thing where they probably
They can
inject
pick
you with something, who knows? And yeah, that brings
Okay.
people back unless you cut off their heads.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. Or cremate them. Man.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's injected with that. You can be sure they didn't cut off his head, so of course he's going to come back. And I don't know what that problem is with the killing again with Iron Fist because he is a warrior. So if he doesn't kill, all those villains are going to, start popping up again, like that guy is going to do.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
agree with that. He should
Yeah.
he should be killing. You know, just like Punisher. And I think I think they all should be killing. That's just me though. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is logical. I mean, I know that it's not like the highly moral thing to do, but he's a warrior and a warrior code and all of that. All of it is kill or be killed, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's gotta stop with the not killing because it's getting ridiculous.
There we go.
It is. It's not logical in some situations. Those are not people that are going to change, be reformed, or anything like that, and they're always going to keep coming. So
So
what
just
to
like
do?
with
You have
Batman,
to kill
Batman
them.
should. So I guess so. You agree then? You know, Batman should be killing as well now too.
Yeah, I really don't care.
Good, good,
Honestly.
good, good.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I think that we should all say something final, final, because it's getting pretty late for me, and this
Okay.
is long enough.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, you want me to go first, or?
Yeah. Go ahead. Anyone can go first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say I'm looking forward to the Defenders. Hopefully, they get the writers of Daredevil season 1 to do the Defenders. They get better writers to do the Defenders when they have all of them in the same series together. So that would probably make for a better series if they get, because I thought the Daredevil season 1 was the best season. So
Wow.
if you get those writers to write the Defenders, and plus Sigourney Weaver is she's a good actor, so she should make a good villain. So I'm looking forward
Oh
to
yes.
Defenders when it comes
Yeah,
out.
she's amazing. Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah, she's a good actress. So hopefully that'll be Defenders will be good when you have all of them in together and stuff. That should be good.
Definitely.
Okay. Devin.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't even see. Yeah, do give Iron Fist a try. And I know it like gave you a bad flavor in your mouth, you know, that first half of that episode. But trust me, watch it to completion. See it for what it is. Check it. To me, in any case, the pretty cool kick-ass fight sequences. I'm into that kind of shit. So, yeah.
Okay, you did like the action. I heard from other reviewers that the action wasn't that great.
I liked it. I did not mind it. But then again, I mean, I watch, you know,
everything.
Yeah, I watch everything. I watch shit like Wolf Cop. Okay, so
yeah, man.
Oh,
so
boy.
yeah, so yeah, and the Devil's Wedding Night. So I'll just end it by saying I thought Iron Fist was great. I'm loving all the Netflix series. You know, just more than the DC stuff. But that, you know, like I said, that's just me. I actually did like season 2 of Daredevil like more than the first. Number one, I like how he had the costume and everything, and I love they brought in ninjas and Elektra and Punisher. That's just me, of course. And Iron Fist, I thought was great. Yeah, of course. Okay, it's got those flaws, like you said, but I try to look past them and I try to fill in gaps with my own kind of story so I can get my enjoyment of it. I check my brain at the door, watch it. I love my beer, fries, burger, and please put a side of cheese on there.
Oh man, there you go.
Oh,
No cheese, not healthy.
no, but I have something else actually that I want to say that I totally forgot about.
Uh-oh.
So about his physique again, about the Iron Fist physique, because as I said in my review,
all
also
about appearances.
it shouldn't be that. I mean, he shouldn't have that physique if he trained for 15 years martial arts, and because you gave Bruce Lee, for example. Bruce Lee is ripped. He was ripped. He might be very skinny, but he is ripped. He has noticeable and very well-defined muscles all over his body. And Iron Fist is soft, extremely soft. And what Finn Jones, the actor himself, said is that he had weight training, but only for like 2 weeks, and he couldn't finish that because the schedule was so tight. And he learned every scene because he never learned the martial arts in his life. He learned every choreography 15 minutes before the scenes are shot. So that could explain why he's looking so clumsy and why he's looking so soft. But my argument to that is, you have to work out all year round since you're an actor and you don't know what role you're going to get, and you have to look the best possible physically, and he's extremely soft. I mean, even I can slap him and like take his hair off.
I gotcha.
You can't even imagine. Yeah.
Bruce Lee's a special case, though. I know he's ripped, but you know he's a special case. If you look at a lot of these Shaolin monks and everything, they don't have that kind of physique. But that's besides the point.
Sammy.
I'm not watching Iron Fist for his body, so I don't really care about that too much.
Yeah, but a lot of us do. I agree.
He's fine. I had no problem with his physique.
Look at how he looks like in the comic book, Sammy. It's a superhero. He has a particular look in the comics that has to be respected, in my opinion. And he's looking a lot more ripped there. Like
understood.
At least 10 kilograms of muscle there. That's like 20 pounds of
really
muscle more.
Really detailed with that. But
I know my
hear you.
fitness stuff.
Yeah,
and my
but
superheroes.
Isn't the Iron Fist some kind of a specific goal to achieve? Didn't he have to work very hard to get to a certain point to become the Iron Fist?
That too. That too. He be the dragon. How is going to be the dragon with that physique? With regular people on the street are beating him with a frying pan.
You understand? You understand? You have to understand. Chi is more than just the physical appearance. Chi is the inner power. It comes from within, despite the body.
But his name is the Iron Fist, though.
That's exactly it. He's channeling his chi. You have to finish the show, Davin, but he's channeling his chi into his fist. It doesn't matter what your physique is. You can be, super buffed or not, but his body is not bad, at least in my personal opinion. He's not muscular like, I guess, Bruce Lee, of course, he's a special case, or, some of these other superheroes, but his power doesn't come from his physical traits, but it comes from the ability to channel his chi into his fist. It's the inner power. That's just
that's
I'm
another
okay with
thing.
That. I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
He can still have the physique that he has because he's training every day. He should at least be more defined. I mean, that's
a lot of those people actually, to get to a position where they can control chi like that, do a lot of fasting and a lot of evacuating their system of toxins and foods and stuff. And your body, when it carries a lot of fat, it usually has stored a lot of toxins or things that you've eaten over a period of time. So your physique should show on somebody who's trained for a long period of time, who's evacuated a lot of toxins, and who's got control of mastery over their body like that. Martial arts is well known, not just Bruce Lee, but if you go through all of the series of movies, all of those guys had specific body types that made them look a certain way that we all grew up on. They all had that Bruce Lee type of physique. He just was really, really manic about flexing. He flexed a lot. He did a lot of concentration of muscles and stuff like that. But all of those Asian actors at that time had a very tight body. If you looked at somebody like Bolo, who was the thick Hulk type dude,
Bolo Young,
it was very rare to see somebody that looked like Bolo and could fight. And he was always some kind of a monster. There was rarely ever a fat guy there, and if he was fat, he was always not a fighter. So to see, there you go,
talking
man.
About dudes like this. Okay?
Look at the guy on the bottom right-hand corner. That guy right there, he's already buffed and tight and ripped already.
Well, not really. Not when you're looking at the way I'm looking at his body is not like here.
I mean, he doesn't have all the striations in the muscles and stuff, but
yeah. So for me, it's no different than Iron Fist. But like I said,
but you're also looking at him at his point where he's training. You don't see him as a master at that point. He's at training mode.
The man be eating donkeys. If you finish the show.
That's protein, Sammy. That's building muscle.
So he wasn't just eating the vegetables and stuff like that.
Well, exactly. So that is why he should have muscle. He should have muscle, but he doesn't.
Okay, so you said that he's channeling chi through his fist, but there has to be some kind of martial arts to go along with that. If you can just channel chi through your fist, but you can't fight, what's the point of that? You'll never be able to land a punch.
You have to finish the show. I guess it's like I said, it's preference. Some folks weren't a fan of.
No, Devin, you're on the right track.
I would think I am.
You are.
But
don't make me watch this whole entire show, Falagard, just to say that it was correct.
Actually, it's going to be good if you watch it.
The fighting is good. In my personal opinion, like I said, I did not mind the fighting. I like the fighting. What can I say? The whole corridor thing with the hatchet. Against the hatchet people, the Huracan or whatever his name was, I guess the leader of the hand.
There's another
excellent
corridor
fighting between those guys.
Again?
Why there is a corridor fighting. It's not really a corridor. I don't know what you got. In the apartment. It's not really. It's not a corridor. A hallway. Just going down the hall and fighting, and he goes into the elevator, and then he fights in close quarters. I liked it. That's like I said. It's my personal opinion. Need I show the Wolf Cop again?
Yes, you need to, man.
I like stuff like that. So
Oh, please
come on, So that's why I'm saying it doesn't bother me.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Sammy. I'd rather watch Wolf Cop than to watch Iron Fist right now. I'm more intrigued to see what Wolf Cop is all about than I am to see.
Don't blame you. Well,
like I said, it's just me. I'm sorry, if you guys didn't agree, but I don't mind that. There's no need to.
Trey Pastor liked it too. I mean,
Offensive or anything.
he liked it.
Yeah, I didn't mind Iron Fist. I mean, sure, he was a little bit too naive in my opinion, but overall, as a series, I thought it was okay. And like I said, hopefully he'll be better when he interacts with the other heroes and stuff. Maybe Luke Cage can smarten him up, so he won't be so naive about things.
Hey, do you see the relationship of that developing? Do they look? Does it seem like they would look good together?
In the comics, they're partners, so.
Yeah, heroes for hire. They are.
Friends.
Yeah.
They're heroes for hire in the comics, so maybe they'll become friends when they team up.
Yeah.
So he won't be so naive about things. And
I don't know. Luke Cage seemed a bit naive himself.
Well,
really?
I would say in the beginning, but not
I don't remember now much of that, so I can't say.
He got pissed when he got hit with that bullet.
Luke Cage was trying to be low key, remember, because he was trying to not draw too much attention to himself. Because remember, he had escaped from prison, so he was trying to be. That's why he didn't want to get involved with a lot of the stuff. Yeah, because he was, just escaped from prison.
That's right.
So he was trying to be low key.
When he got hit with that bullet, he seemed like he kind of toughened up a bit, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that part at all either.
Yeah, I wanted that bullet out of him.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have been able to be penetrated, man. I mean, that's just his ability is just not. You can't penetrate his skin. I don't know why they did it so that you could. I didn't like that.
Yeah, another bad writing thing that the hero must be vulnerable.
To cause conflict, in the show. You got to keep in mind it's a show. This ain't real life.
But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be quality. So I mean, I understand where you're coming from and all of that. Don't get me wrong, but what me and Devon are trying to say is that we deserve better.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yep.
We shouldn't be accepting everything, and we should say what we think it's lacking on every show, because that's entertainment. People are paying for that. People are giving their time for that, and we are dedicated fans, but if our superheroes that we are fan of are extremely lacking to be superheroes, we are no longer, we're starting to decrease our fandom and our love for them. They're ruining our stories that we love and our superheroes, so it's normal that at least we can call them out on the flaws so they can have some kind of a reason to get better, because otherwise if you say, that's acceptable, they're just going to get worse and worse. They're not going to have any reasons to get better, so we have to call them out on those things. That is that's my point.
Fair enough.
I still like it, of course, but just saying. Okay, so to finish, guys, that's another thing that I want to point out. The finding that Iron Fist fought some people that were, highly skilled, and at the same time he fights some people that were not that highly skilled, regular people, and he got bested in half of the fight. Of course, after that he won, but during the fight he was very he didn't know how to approach things with the fighting, how to defend himself. And that is, I'm talking about regular people that fought him. Then the two Russian guys in the tournament, sorry, Devon, for the spoilers.
That's good.
They're good, not good fighters, but comparing to somebody that was in a monastery for 15 freaking years, master of everything, worthy of the Iron Fist and all of that, they got him pretty well. I mean, yes, he beat them again, but it was difficult for him, and it was a challenge even. I mean, it wasn't like super easy and he knew what is happening. No, they really knew how to get the best of him in half of that fight. So that's a flaw again. And the next thing that I was talking about in my review that was the most bizarre out of everything was when he went into the second challenge, I think, and there was a woman there, a very sexy Asian woman. He was taken by her immediately, and he was like in a having sex mode, so to speak. He totally forgot that he was in a tournament, that he has to be very, vigilant, that he has to be ready for anything. I mean, he knows that he's in that tournament. He has to be the best and all of that. But no, she was talking, more seductive to him, you can say, and he allowed her to touch him, to be like this close to his face, and of course she like stabbed him with some needles that contained some spider venom, and he was like all confused, and his vision got blurry and all of
Okay,
that.
I know what you're
And
talking
he's
about. I thought you were talking
starting
about
like,
Colleen. I know what you mean.
yeah,
Okay.
hitting the air and acting like a little child again, and then she was on top of him, and he was acting so like, you know, turned on, and I'm like, what? He's going to take his pants down? I mean, what are you doing? Iron Fist? Are you complete like idiot? Like, oh, such an idiot. I mean, how can you say that that's okay when he's in a fight, he's in a tournament, and he's acting like he's in a brothel or something, and he's about to have sex with this, you know, whatever that was. I mean, but anyways, and the next thing that I wanted to say about,
you know what I say about that? That's her power. What? That's just me though. You know, it didn't establish that, but to me,
no.
I like to imagine it's her power.
No. We can't just imagine things. It doesn't work like that, Sammy.
That's just me. You know, like I said, you know, I imagine that's just her power. That's my excuse for it.
No.
That's my reasoning. But like I said, that is just me. I'm sorry. You know, I view things differently. I like to fill in the gaps, and just like with flaws of the game, you know, like in, you know, low glitches in Skyrim and stuff. I try to create reasons for it, but that's just, like I said, that pay no attention there. That's just me.
You know, I would understand if it was implied, but it wasn't. They were just fighters, and that was the venom and the needles. So
for me, it's just it helps me enjoy the show or film more when I look at things that way, not to take it too seriously. Like I said, that's just me. That's just me.
Sammy, I know, but you're basically seeing every show like it's an RPG and you're role playing. So that's
I used an RPG as reason why. Like I'm saying, like I used it as an example to better explain what I'm doing there as well. I don't see it like an RPG.
Guys, just to add something, Pancho here just said he has to be able to fight even without his vision, and that's a very valid argument.
He has to be able to fight with his vision.
Without his vision, without his vision, because all martial artists can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, without his seeing, but he couldn't. He was absolutely so out of everything. But anyway, so about Supergirl, I just wanted to say another super stupid thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, there's so many stupid things, but another stupid things lately was that she broke her relationship with Monel, because he didn't tell her that he was actually the Prince of Daxon. Okay, who cares? I mean, he had his reasons. It's not like he wanted to lie to her, but she's like, oh no, I can't be with you. Like, you know, so like, I can't explain it. I mean, she's so insulted by that. Yeah, insulted by that, which is absolutely ridiculous, because it's not like intentionally he wanted to do that to her. It's about his life and how he, saved his life and all of that. That is a traumatic experience. You don't go and like.
I feel you on that. Everybody. I agree. I thought that was stupid that she did break it off with him. I know.
Yeah, and she had to go through all the musical to get that she wasn't right. Yeah. Oh, whoopity-doo! Another emotionally mature person. Yeah, everybody is so emotionally matured in those shows. Not,
Okay.
Yeah. That is, guys. Sorry for being so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very passionate about all of this, especially when I know that something is wrong. I'm like,
that's cool.
This is wrong.
Like I said, we're all individual people. We all have different kind of personality and are different. That's what I absolutely love about it. Getting all together and kind of talking about it and hearing each other's point of view. So I love it.
I agree.
Paul, do you want to say something?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're Paul.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, I thought the whole season 2 of Supergirl has been a letdown to me in general, just because I knew Callista Flockhart wasn't going to stay in Canada. So, and I think the show is weaker for not having her here. I liked her character, and I liked
she's awesome.
And I liked Maxwell Lord. I thought he was a good. And now you don't get as much Martian Manhunter in the show. I'm not interested in Mon-El and Kara at all. At all. They completely marginalized the character Jimmy Olsen. He might as well not be on the show, because he disappears for long periods of time. I like what they did with Wynn. They moved him to the DEO, so that's better for his character. But they really just second season of Supergirl to me has just been a giant letdown.
Let me ask you,
in terms of just,
how do you feel about Guardian?
Nah, he shouldn't be Guardian anyway.
Oh wow, okay.
Guardian anyway.
Yeah.
The superhero show.
Everything is lame, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
They got Supergirl on the show and the DEO and Martian Manhunter. They don't need Guardian on that show.
You know what, Garrett? Change the title of this hangout to just ripping on the shows.
Oh,
You know, I mean,
No.
Come on now, okay?
No. Well, it's no use.
I'm still watching
Sammy.
it. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm still watching it.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm also still watching them, but I'm still going to.
There you go.
Yeah, we are all still watching those things, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, this is also perfect. Let me now watch another episode of Arrow.
I never said that. Yeah, I didn't think it was perfect. I just but okay.
You know what I mean, Sammy. I don't mean it literally. Okay, guys. So that was a very fun and awesome hangout. We should do it again on a very relevant topic, I think. So we're going to talk about this. Oh, let me know.
My question is, if you're gonna do another hangout, possibly next week or in 2 weeks, you got some subject matter you can give me so I can be prepared. I want to be prepared for the next one. You know?
Well, you can
you
also
gotta check your Facebook more often.
Yeah,
message
please.
you on that and give you information.
I can do that.
You gotta get on here more often.
Yeah.
See, and the good thing is now I know I can do it on my phone. So
so that's good. Okay.
That's good. So
I didn't know I can text you like that. I thought I'd just have to call you until I saw that. So
yeah.
Okay.
That's good. So we should have no more issues.
And you came up with a topic also, Devon. You can also suggest a topic. So if you can think about a topic this week, that's going to be good.
All the TV shows are ending right now, right?
They are? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Probably not.
I think sometime in like May or June or something like that for the summer, because summers they have the reruns.
I think we have like 5 or 6 more episodes of each show.
Oh, really? We do?
Yeah.
Well, 17 episodes of Arrow, so at least 4 more episodes, I think.
So what are you watching? We're watching Flash and Arrow, right? And Supergirl? Nobody's watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I do.
You do?
I've missed out on many. Yeah.
But they missed the last 3 episodes, I think, of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have to catch up, because although it's interesting to me, I'm still, every time that I have to get back to it, I'm like, oh, should I watch it? And then I watch it and I'm interested. But again, when I stop the episode and I have to go to the next, I'm like, again, should I watch this? So it's very strange, because it is interesting while I'm watching it, but when I ended it, I don't want to get back to it.
There's no real hype behind it at all. I don't know what's going on with that. But it is kind of interesting, although they've dropped a lot of the subject matter that they started with. What about Legion? Anybody watching Legion?
No.
What is that?
No.
That's the show on FX. I just saw the pilot episode. I missed seeing the other episode. I saw the pilot episode.
It's about Charles Xavier's son, who has these crazy mental powers, and but he's in an insane asylum, and he's trying to control his powers, and they keep him sedated, and so you can see what's going on in his mind and what's going on around it. So
I wonder if I get that on this Xfinity thing.
Yeah,
thank you, DM of DVD.
I can start it.
Yeah. Okay.
Legion,
there's no movies coming out right now, right? Did we?
Well, Ghost in the Shell is coming out next week. Well, this week, this Friday. Ghost in the Shell.
Power Rangers.
Oh, hey.
Power Rangers.
Yeah,
I saw Logan.
Oh, holy
I saw Kong. I saw Power Rangers. I saw Life yesterday.
Okay.
And Power Rangers.
Okay, don't tell me anything.
Okay.
Was Life worth watching?
To me, yes.
Yes. Okay.
There's like seven freaking episodes on that Legion already. I thought it was like something that just started.
No,
it says. Damn. Okay.
I mean, it kind of just started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I should really go now. It's
okay.
Okay, so awesome conversation. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you to everybody that watched. And we're trying to do those things more often, I think. So yeah, we just have to come up with a very good topic that everybody are interested in and enough informed on.
Exactly.
That's right. Okay, wonderful. Hey, yeah. Hey, Sammy didn't. There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, no, my thing is this. Okay, this is a greeting and ESO. So it has changed since then. So.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, you've seen ESO. Greetings, Wayfarer. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It's a new greeting. Yeah, it's what they do. So.
Awesome.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you to Tom and everybody that watched, Michael, and of course, No Who 100. He very, very much wanted to see this hangout. And of course, to Sean from Gone Hollow Media. And of course, oh boy, so many people here. Oh yeah, Blu-ray Dan. I'm very glad to have him as well. And my friend from Facebook, the House of Blues, and so on.
Did you say House of Blues though? That would be Robbie.
The
That's
House
Robbie.
of Blues.
BLUS. Yeah, that's Robbie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's House of Blues, BLUS, known as Blu-ray Hoarder. Yeah,
because
that's my Filipino friend, Hawaiian friend. From
how
Hawaii.
did I mistaken him from
Robbie.
my Facebook friend
Very
from
cool
Bulgaria?
guy.
Then have no idea. Okay, sorry if I did. Okay, guys, and that's it. Until next time. And check out the guys' channels. I'm going to put the description of everybody. I mean, the links to everybody's channels in the description below as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.